Hi, in this video we are going to continue the case study and we are going to build a prototype only with a background image and show the client what the design looks like. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found here and it is loaded here. Okay, so we stop at we finished the prototype. Now it's time to show the client what the website will look like. On the website where all the materials are shown, you can actually look at what we try to achieve, which is something that looks like this. This is actually a very simple web page with only a background image, with only a JPEG image and a background image. The purpose of this is to show your client what your design is and how it's going to look like. Okay. Before we do this, we need to create a background file for this part. This is around 100 pixels, and it is the color for that is this. Okay, so we're going to quickly create a file called background.psd. So first come over here and we just create a new PSD file. Let's call it background. And the width of the background, just make it 1 pixels, which is really narrow, and the height is 100. And say OK. So we have this very simple file, which is 1 pixel times 100 pixels, which is basically a very thin line. Okay, and now I'm going to change the foreground color to 111111, and now I'm going to use the paint bucket tool to paint this to that color. All right, and then I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save this file into C drive temp web design, and we were storing the index.psd file in this church22 folder. I'm going to store the background file there as well. So let me do a file save. PSD file, save into C temp web design church21 design prototype background.psd. Okay, so I saved the file. The next thing I need to do is I'm going to output this file is a JPEG file, and also output the background as the JPEG file. And I'm going to store these files in church22 folder, the new folder. I'm going to create a new subfolder called images, and I'm going to store those 2 JPEG files there. So let's do this. To do this one, I'm going to use export. Okay, so first I change my export preferences, export JPEG 95%. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to do a save as. I don't really like save as JPEG, mainly because you cannot control the quality too much, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to just use export preferences, JPEG 95%, and do a quick export as JPEG and go to C temp web design, church22, images, and which file is this? This is the index file. So I'm going to change the file name to index.jpg. And I'm going to export this file. Export this file as well. Quick export. Same folder. Images. And background.jpg. So now if you check out your C10 Web Design Church 22 folder, you have two images. One is background and one is JPEG. So the background file looks like this. Let's open it with, right click, open with photo gallery. So it looks like this, okay? Which is just a line. And this one looks like that. Okay, so it's perfect to show this to a client, but the client will not know what the website will look like, so you have to create a simple index.html file, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to my Church 22 folder, right click, create a new text document. I'm just going to call it index.html. Okay, and I'm going to edit this in Notepad++. So of course this file is empty, so I'm going to right click on it and say I want to edit with Notepad++. I'm going to do all the editing in Notepad++ because I think everybody has Notepad++. I could have done it in Dreamweaver, but not everybody has Dreamweaver, and it's expensive or things like that. So I'm just going to do this in Notepad++. Okay, I'm going to create a very simple HTML document. Okay, and I'm going to just put an image there and do a save. I'm not typing it. I'm just copying and pasting my code. If I type everything, this video will be so long. Okay, but the code for this can be found on the website. You can always go there and then right-click View Source here. Okay, but anyway, this is the code. I'm going to save the file. And if you double click on this, you will see that this is what it looks like now. Okay, not much. So now I have to add a background and then move the image to the center. With that, I need a little bit of style sheets. So I'm going to put the style sheets in the head. Put the style in the head and quickly do the body. Okay, so I changed the background color to something slightly different from what we did just now. As you can see, this color is different from this color, which is the background JPEG, and I put the background JPEG as a background image, and I repeat it in the X direction, which is sideways. Okay, and because it's only 100 pixels high, the height is only 100 pixels, so it only shows on top. Let's see what's going on. Let's do a file save, come over here, reload. You realize that I have a background now that is of this color, which is here, and then my background.jpg, which is of this color, will be here. So it goes very nicely with the curtain here because it's around 100 pixels. Okay, so this is my background JPEG, and this is just the default background color. So the next thing I want to do is I want to shift this to the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my only image margin left and right auto. Okay, and then that will make this to the center. So now you can show this to the client, and the client will definitely make some changes, hopefully not too much, not too many changes. Hopefully they won't comment too much, and if they want to make changes, you should make the changes for them before you even start coding. If you start coding now before they comment on it, it's just a waste of time. Okay, so now this is a very simple website prototype you can show to your client with only the JPEG file and the background. And the code is available here. You can always go to the website, look at step 2, come over here. This is what it looks like. You can always view source. You can look at the code here. Okay, so the code is available to you. Great, I think it's a good place to stop. In the next video, we are going to actually slice the index.psd file and actually export the slices and then do some coding. Okay, thanks for watching.